Hi there, it is September 15th, 2025, and time for your Monday market update. Thanks so much for watching. Okay, so taking a quick look at our Montgomery County numbers before we dive into what is happening in our real estate market. In the last 7 days, we had 148 new listings. We had 108 go under contract, 116 closed sales, 51 price changes, 2 expireds, and 41 currently on the private network. Now, I was very surprised by these numbers. I thought we were going to have under contracts through the roof, way more than new listings, because last week we had a jobs revision showing that our labor market is weaker than we had anticipated. And that revision to the jobs report caused the mortgage rates to fall, the largest amount that they've fallen in over a year. We're now at the lowest rate we've been at in over a year. And I thought buyers were going to run out to put every home under contract. Well, I was clearly very wrong. And one of the things that I find so frustrating about the real estate market is that it's like we're trying to read people's minds. We're trying to figure out what is emotionally and financially going on with the American population, and it's really hard. Reading minds, turns out, is very difficult and not something I'm great at. So here's what I've been trying to break down today. With rates coming down, why did we not see all of the buyers flood out into the market? 2 reasons, I think. One of which is that affordability is still very hard, and we're having the mind of the consumer is constantly being adjusted based on what happened during COVID and after, and what we think is going to happen in the coming years. So that's one, and we'll dive more into that in a second. Number 2 is weather still plays a very big part in our real estate market. So this past weekend we had the Bears game, which honestly is a factor. And number 2 is that it was really nice weather. And when we have really nice weather in September and October, we tend to see slower open houses. We tend to see less showings. People are out enjoying the last bit of summer before we head into the winter months and the colder temperatures. So I think that there's that the weather definitely played a part in our showings this past weekend, because we did not see the showing activity that we thought we would. And we definitely did not see the activity at the open houses that I thought we would. And I think that was more due to weather than it was anything else. But the real estate, but the mortgage rates are really baffling me, because I thought that, like I said, I thought people were going to run out and put homes under contract. Now, what I think is happening, here's what I think is happening. So even though interest rates are down at like 6.39, we've even seen some people getting quotes at like 6.1, 6.2. In COVID, we had rates that were like 2, 3%. We've talked about that a million times. We know that was a problem. There are still some people that think that the rates will go back to that rate at some point in time. They won't. We've been saying that forever, that they're never going to be 2% again. They'll never be 3%. They might not even ever be 4% again. Okay, that is probably never going to happen. And if it ever does, you should refinance, and then you should panic because something is terribly wrong. We had a worldwide pandemic. That's why rates were so low. And that caused prices to go up. So we kind of learned our lesson on that. Don't do that again. That didn't go great. Okay, so that's number 1. But when we had people still buying homes in 2023 and 2024, even as rates were going up, and it's funny, I was just watching one of my other Monday market updates from 2022, and I was talking about how rates are at 5%, but like that's not that bad. That's still historically low, and you should still buy a house. And it's like it was at 5%. Like holy cow, people would kill for 5% right now. And we do think we'll see that again, but it's not there yet. So in 2022, people were still buying houses even though rates were going up. 2023, people really started to hit the brakes. Remember, in 2021, we sold 6.1 million homes nationwide. In 2022, we sold 5.1 million homes nationwide, and that was because interest rates started going up. In 2023, we sold 4.1. That's way less, 2 million homes less nationwide than we sold 2 years prior. Then in 2024 and 2025, it's kind of been the same. We're speculating that this year we're going to still be at like at 4.1, 4.3, which is very, very low number of transactions. We have some people who are just locked in at too low of rates. And then we have other people who I think what happened is in 2023 and 2024, there were people that were buying homes that they couldn't afford because they thought, okay, interest rates are higher than they have been, and I am going to struggle to pay my mortgage at this particular price or this particular rate. But when mortgage rates come down, I'll refinance. And mortgage rates are going to come down in 2025, so I'll just refinance and then I'll be able to afford my house. Right now, I think we have a lot of people going, I don't know if rates are going to come down to 5%, and I can't afford the house at this price and at this rate, and therefore I'm not going to buy a house. And I think affordability is still a major problem. Of the homes that have gone under contract in the last few weeks, most of them, a lot of them have done price reductions. And that's when they've gone under contract. So I think affordability is still the number one issue. Well, that's like, duh. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that affordability is the main problem. And I think we saw people still buying homes in 2024 and early 2025, thinking, okay, by late 2025, rates are going to be in the high fives. And now they aren't. And people are like, oh crap. If rates don't go down, I can't bank on rates going down to 5%. So I can't buy a house that I can't afford, hoping that rates will come down, because we don't know. And the Feds are meeting tomorrow, and they are 99.9% likely to lower the rates to 25 basis points, and they are probably going to lower them even 50 basis points. Now, when they did that last year, mortgage rates actually went up because inflation went up. I don't know if that's going to happen right now. We have a very weak job market, and there are a lot of people that are very freaked out. The Charlie Kirk thing, which is so terrible and so sad, I think it rattled a lot of people. And I think a lot of people are very scared about our country's future and what's going on and where are we headed. And there's a lot of turmoil going on. And I think people are kind of afraid, and they're kind of just pulling back a little bit. And they're like, we're going to wait and see what's going to happen. We're going to wait and see if prices come down on homes. We're going to wait and see if these interest rates really do come down. And I want to make sure that I can afford my house at the price and the interest rate that I'm buying at, and not banking on interest rates coming down to the low fives anytime soon, even though I do think they'll come down to in 2026 to the low fives. But that's just where we're at. People are very concerned about what they are going to be able to afford in the coming years. And I do think, I know personally, I had some buyers who bought homes that were more expensive than they wanted to pay last year, thinking that rates were going to come down. And two things, one of which is that there would be bidding wars, that we would return to 2022 bidding wars, and they didn't want to get caught up in that. And number two is they figured they would just refinance when rates came down, and then they would be able to afford it. So just hold tight. We'll see what the coming weeks hold for us in our real estate market. It's not that we aren't selling houses. It's not that people aren't buying and selling. They are. It's just that we've got some hurdles to overcome in order to navigate this market. And it's tricky. And we're constantly trying to read people's minds, which is not an easy thing to do. So, but I will say that as long as if you really are motivated to sell, or you're really motivated to buy, you absolutely can do that. It's probably a great opportunity for buyers. And for sellers, I think you just have to be patient, and you might have to be willing to be involved in either the beauty contest or the price war. We're heading back to that direction. You better be the prettiest that's on the market, or better be the best price. One of those two, and that's the way you're going to sell your home in this market. So if you have more questions and more concerns, please call me or reach out to me. You can private message me on social media, or email me, Miranda@miranda.altteam.com, or you can always text me or call me at 815-529-0777. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great rest of your Monday.